Hello and welcome. We've played Avowed, and I want to give you my first impressions of the game. I played around 7 hours of the game, the first 7 hours, and I've heard a lot of bad stuff. I've heard a lot of negative stuff right before release, but the past few days I've heard a lot of good stuff. So it's been around 50-50, but now it's a lot more positive stuff than negative stuff. And after playing it, I get it. Holy shit. What a game. I'm not joking. I don't want to oversell it, but it's really good. First thing, you have a character creation. It's limited, but it's okay. So you can change your face from here and down. That's it. Of course, you can change your hairstyle. But no matter what I did with my character, he had a freaking long forehead. And no matter what hairstyle I chose, the forehead was big. So that was kind of a letdown that you couldn't change your head size or whatever. Only from here and down. It was a little disappointing, but apart from that, it's okay. You can it's not limited in a sense that it's I can't make the character I want. You can from here and down, up here and up, from here and up. So you both can and can't. So that's the limited. From the forehead and up. And then you have a set backstory, but at the same time you can also choose a backstory. It doesn't have a lot to say, at least not where I am in the story. You get, of course, different choices depending on the different backstory you choose, but that's about it. Like, they don't talk about it, they sort of don't mention it, but at the same time they do. It's hard to explain, but it doesn't have like a lot to say. Not in the first hours I've been playing. But yeah, about the backstory, like I said, you have a set backstory. I don't want to go into what it is. You'll see at the beginning of the game. And then you can also pick what happens to you after the set backstory. And then you're basically thrown into the game. And I was quite surprised. The graphics looks really good. The facial expression is not great. Who am I kidding? It is great, but not excellent. It's more with the mouth. You can see they move the tongue while they talk. That's what's great about it. You don't see a lot of expression in the eyes and stuff. It's more the mouth. But still, that's gotta be one of the best animations I've seen in an RPG. You can see the tongue moving. That was just truly amazing. And as I said, the graphics looks really good. I've heard a lot of people say they have bugs and stuff. No bugs. Glitches? No. Optimized? Yeah, it is. It's really optimized. At least for me. No cropped saves or anything. Everything works so smoothly. But there is one thing, and that is when you kill the enemy, they don't respawn. So if you go back to the area for a mission or whatever, they're gone. They're not there. So that's both a good thing and a bad thing. I know in a lot of games, I wish they were, God damn it, be dead. But also, it doesn't quite work. It gets a little, I don't know, if you have missions up there and you killed everyone, it's more like running around doing nothing. But at the same time, it's sort of refreshing. Then you get time to just explore, look at stuff. But I do wish that in some areas they did respawn. At least have something. It's completely empty. So if you wait hours, maybe days in game, yeah, some of them should respawn. But so far, it doesn't have that. It's not that negative. It's not. It keeps the world both alive and not. And that's one other thing. It doesn't, because it because they don't respawn, it doesn't feel that alive. There are few animals, but there's so few that it feels dead. You know, it feels so empty. In the cities, it feels alive. There's a lot of people, they're talking about this and that, and you come and they see you, they stop the conversation, and then they continue when you move off if there's any secrets they're talking about. So that's kind of cool. But out in the world, if you kill the enemies and they don't respawn, it's quite empty. It can be refreshing if you're just exploring, but in the long run, I think it can get a little stale. Now, I'm only 7 hours in. I barely touched the first zone. I've heard people can finish it in 40 hours. I'm 7 hours in. I'm still in the first zone, and there's a lot to do. I'm still in the first zone, and I've only explored a half of the first zone. I still have the other half of Dawnshore. Also, only met one companion, Kai. That's the lizard dude. Same voice as Garrus in Mass Effect. Quite cool. You know, if you played Mass Effect, you'll enjoy him. You'll enjoy him. Well, I've heard you can't romance your companion, so you can dream about him. Resources, materials, everything you can interact with is on your in-game map. The GPS, what do we want to call it? You know, the map you have in-game on the screen. That helps, so you don't have to look around for everything. You just see it. Okay, let's go there and take it. And then you know you've done everything. Which is nice. You know, I like to do everything on the map, if possible. And oh boy, there's a lot to do. Both secrets, Easter eggs from past Path of Eternity. Yeah, it's in the same world, so they talk about it. And this is basically the third game when it comes to the lore story, as far as I've heard, but you don't need to have played the others. But hey, I recommend it. I heard they're really good. You also have bosses, which are amazing if you play on the hardest difficulty, Path of the Damned. That's one other thing. This game, so far, is easy. No joke. I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, Path of the Damned. That's the 4th difficulty. You get a lot of potions. I mean, a lot. Both health and essence. Essence is what you need to use abilities. You can also pick up food, which you also get health and essence. And yeah, you can't take many punches, but when you have abilities, you have companions, you have a lot of health. It's quite easy, which kind of disappoints me. Of course, you can meet bosses which are higher level than you. Then it becomes harder. But then it just becomes too hard for your liking, because it just gets frustrating because you know you're under-leveled. So just move back and finish it another time. Of course, you can do it, but why? But even then, it's actually really easy. The combat. We gotta talk about the combat. I love it. The combat is pretty sweet. It's smooth. You got swords, you got maces, you got axes, you got battle axes, you got spears, you got wands, you got staffs, you got shields, you got books, grimoire books, which you can, you know, use abilities and stuff. And there's probably more. Yeah, hammers. Did I say hammers? I don't know. Like, there's a lot of different type of weapons. And the combat feels so smooth. You can dodge, you can block, you can parry. You have abilities you can upgrade to make the combat more smooth, more awesome. It's all around just pretty amazing. I use a rifle. I start with a bow, and then I used a pistol, and now I'm using a rifle. And they're all amazing and smooth. I promise you, maybe if you watch a video or stream, it doesn't seem as smooth, but when you play it, it's fast. You gotta be on the move. You feel the adrenaline pumping. If 3 guys come at you at once, 1 behind you, 2 on the sides, and then maybe 1 comes in the front, and you just, I'm surrounded. That makes for an awesome moment. But when you have companions, it gets easier, which kind of sucks, because I think you can have 2 companions with you at all times. Well, as far as I've come, I can't, like, don't have him with me unless I miss something, but that doesn't matter. Like, that is cool because they comment, they join the conversations, which is pretty nice. It feels like they are alive, they care, and just they're a character, you know? I don't have a lot of negative stuff to say about the game, but there is one thing. When you make a character, pronouns That definitely gets a minus from me. Yeah, there's also another thing, but I don't remember. I know there was one thing. I thought you couldn't sleep. When it's dark, you sleep, then it's morning, but you can, which was freaking amazing how they did that. I want you to find out for yourself. You can enchant weapons too at your camp, and you have finishing moves when they get stunned. It's so much. And when you're on the water, yeah, you can swim, hell yeah. But when you're on the water, it seems so real. They really captured how it is to be on the water. I don't think there's any game that does it better that I've seen or played. It's really good. Maybe No Man's Sky, maybe, but it's not quite the same feeling. Maybe because you have a suit on, I don't know. But in Avowed, when you're on the water, it feels and looks just wow. This is how it is to swim on the water. So I just get the game. I can't say that enough. Get the game. It's free on Game Pass, so get that. Buy it. I recommend to buy it, even at full price. It's really amazing. It's full of story, a lot of dialogue, a lot of choices. Your character don't speak, but I think that's sometimes for the better, because then you can get a little more immersion with your character. You are really the character. And there's a lot of notes and text you can pick up, books to read and all that. So, but yeah, dialogue. It's a lot of dialogue. It's also a lot of combat. But be prepared for dialogue, story, talking. But at the same time, there's also a lot of combat. So it's a nice balance. But if you don't like story games with heavy dialogue and choices, don't get this. Because there's a lot of talking. And the conversations can go on and on and on. But you don't have to let it go on and on and on. You can just end it. No, I don't want to talk anymore, so let's just end it. You can do that if you want. So maybe it's for you, even though you don't like that heavy in the story. But because of the combat, when you kill them and they don't respawn, it's hard to say. Because I love story. That's my number one. Gameplay is second. So... But yeah, now that you know that, make your own decision on how, if you want to play it or not. But get it on Game Pass, you know. If you like it, buy it. Definitely. But this isn't a review, it's a first impression. I played only the first 7 hours. And everything I talked about happened in the first 7 hours. And I'm still in the first zone, only done the first half of that zone. I think the way they do the side missions and main missions is really great. Even though some missions seems like fetch quests, they're not. They have a hidden thing, you know, maybe a little lore and a surprise. No, the mission structure is really good. And you got treasure maps. There's Vikings. There's so much to the game that I want to save something for my review. This will be my first review in a long time. Last time I made a review was Hitman, and yeah, it's been a while. So I want to try and do some reviews too. And also I want to talk about, I have some ideas for videos, so you will see more of these kind of videos too. Kind of nice to, you know, just sit here talking to you guys and maybe start a conversation. I love discussions. If you see my live streams, you know I love discussions. But it's all love, you know? The Viking. So don't take it to heart. If you do, well, get out. So, yeah, that was my first impression of the game. First impressions. First impression? Oh, that's... Yeah. I have a lot of impressions on the game. And they're all good. The game stats are great. Great graphics, I gotta say that again. The animation on the mouth is really great. It's great. I'm playing on PC. It runs smoothly. I tried without DLSS and without DLSS, and it runs smooth on both. Though I actually like the DLSS in this game. Some games make the games worse with DLSS. Some make it better when it comes to artifacting and all that. This, maybe it gets a little more blurry. The textures get a little more blurry. But apart from that, it runs great. So I have DLSS on. The blurriness you only see if you turn it off and on. It's not much, but you can see it if you have a keen eye. But yeah, what if you want to see some live gameplay? Join my lives here on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, wherever you watch streams. And I do appreciate you. Like the stream and subscribe, and get the game. And I'll be seeing you. Have a good day.